is crisp and clear and cold. It's perfect weather for a ghost story, maybe. You know, this week we in America we celebrated Thanksgiving, and it gives us a chance to pause and reflect on the founding of this great country. Many men and women, they braved all kinds of things to get in wooden boats and sail across an ocean to build a new life. When they got here, they met up with a completely different kind of people than they'd ever seen before, ever met before. And somehow, it got done. And as I think about how thankful I am for America and how wonderful it is, I can't help but think about the start, the first colony, the lost colony of Roanoke. So I did some digging in my notebook. Let me give you some facts about the lost colony of Roanoke. The Roanoke colony was England's first attempt to settle mainland of what would become the United States of America. Spain already had a foothold in the Caribbean, but this was England. And Sir Walter Raleigh had a charter from the monarchy to create a new colony, to colonize, to bring England over to America and to see what we could see. In 1585, Ralph Lane founded the original Roanoke. This was a group of 100 or so men, only men at this time because this was a military installation, to get a stranglehold, to set up a beachhead, to set up a port, to get a stronghold for defense if necessary. A year later, in 1586, they were waiting on a supply ship, and waiting, and waiting. And so, Ralph Lane, with Sir Francis Drake, went back to England to see about a resupply. 2 weeks later, the supply ship came in. Sir Richard Grenville, he came, he resupplied, and he left a detachment of men. The next year, in 1587, John White, he set up a different settlement, a more permanent settlement, supposedly, for Sir Walter Raleigh. In 1588, he returned to England to resupply, to get more for him, and he left behind colonists, somewhere between 112, 120, 115 men, women, and John White's granddaughter, Virginia, the first American, the first English baby to be born in America. Unfortunately, due to the Anglo-Spanish War, he couldn't get back immediately. He couldn't come check on him. So it was 2 years later, in 1590, when John White returned, and he found an empty colony. When he landed at the port, he found a tree with the letters C-R-O inscribed. And when they came on, they got to the fort, they got to the colony, they looked around, and there was a post on the fort, in the fort, with the word Croatoan inscribed. Now, the theory, what the plan was, if there was an issue, the colonists would try to connect to the Croatoan natives on Croatoan Island. They were friendly with the English at the time. And so that was what the plan was. However, we're not really sure what happened, because that didn't happen apparently. Or at least there's no evidence of it. The fort had been fortified. They went through, there was no sign of a struggle, no sign of a massacre, no sign of a battle. It was just empty. People just left. There's no mass graves. They were just gone. So what did happen? Did they run out of food and join up with the Croatoans or another native tribe and just become part of the tribe? Or does something darker happen? Did they all die out? There's been speculated that they may have built a ship. Well, they had a ship. They built a second ship to try to get back to England, but they never made it. Also, no real proof that that second ship was ever built. You do know that there were no ships left at the fort. It's nothing. Just people that left an empty fort. Croatoan. And the word, or the letter C-R-O. So what happened to the natives, to the settlers, to the colonists? We don't know. Theories could be that they were massacred, but their bodies were taken away. Could have been a mass alien abduction. We don't know. Over the years, there have been attempts to find it out. There's been expeditions sent to uncover the truth. There's been archaeological excavations. There's been historical reports read, reread, studied, debunked. There's no conclusive proof. This 115 people just vanished. To where? Who knows?